Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Rena never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Elfin. Farewell.
Naori.
His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But... If I don't head back, Lenegis will be nothing but ashes, and this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try. I hope it's enough. Please, live for me, Alphen. That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen escape Lenegis.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
Even with Lenegis crumbling down around her, she chose to stay put with her people.
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision Naori made to save your life.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything. More than I could ever hope to repay.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her to carry on her fight. Naori was the one who put that mask on me, and made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
This place. We've seen this in one of Naori's memories.
Of course. After 300 years, this is where it was held. The spirit channeling ceremony. This is where the Renis Alma was.
So this is the place where you and Naori...
The Renis Alma isn't here now. Nor is the Red Woman, it seems.
I know it's difficult, Alphen, but there will be time to dwell on the past later. For now, we need to keep moving. Come on.
What is this? Is it the work of Dana's will again?
It's been a year since the ceremony. That day, I shut away inside of myself the power that caused Alphen to lose control. Since then, my visions of the future have grown more and more fearsome.
Is this another memory? No, it's different this time. It's like she's speaking directly to us.
What we did back then. Not so much as a day passes when I don't think about it. About what was done to us. All in the name of a ceremony. The purpose of which we were never even told. As Sovereign, they linked Alphen's consciousness to Lenegis itself. The Renis Alma was intended to control his power, lest anything should slip through its cracks. That day, as Maiden, my role was to temper his power. I was meant to guide it forth, and give shape to the strength inside of him.
Linked to Lenegis itself? But then, everything that's been happening...
But that power showed me a vision. A vision of oblivion. When I realized that vision was a prophecy of the apocalypse we were about to unleash, I couldn't go through with it. But without a maiden, the ceremony was doomed. Alphen lashed out, his consciousness no longer his own. I did what I could. Using my abilities as the maiden, I tried to seal that power away inside of me. But it was too late. Lenegis had already been brought to its knees. Thousands upon thousands of lives so cruelly snuffed out. All because of me. Because of what I had done. With the destructive force now slumbering inside of me, I knew I had to find a way to dispose of it. Anything to make up for my failure. But I didn't know how. Especially since that power was astral energy itself. In which case, ironically enough, the Renis Alma seemed to be my best bet. That, at least, would hold the astral energy dormant. Assuming that no malevolent third party got to it first. With the Sovereign and Maiden's combined power, perhaps I could shift the chaotic energy inside me into the Renis Alma instead. That's what I hoped, but alas, it was not to be. The Renis Alma was lost, and Alphen, the Sovereign, was in a starship bound for Dana. My only choice was to seal away the destructive force inside of me using my powers as the Maiden, to buy the world what little time I could. The time needed for a new Renis Alma to be crafted, and for a new Sovereign to appear. Even if by doing so, it meant I would be passing the curse onto my descendants as well. Please, forgive me. I never meant to burden the future world with this threat too. I only wish that there was something more I could have done.
Wait, you can't just...
Naori.
That message just now, was it directly from Naori? Or was it the Danan voice speaking through her?
What?
These are the clothes that Naori and I wore during the ceremony 3 centuries ago.
So you're saying this is the Maiden's outfit?
That's right. These clothes are designed to resonate with the Sovereign and Maiden's abilities. They focus and enhance them.
And they appeared now because...
Naori must have left them here for the new Sovereign and Maiden, knowing the day would come when they would need them in their fight against the Thorns.
These outfits are directly linked to the answers we've been chasing this whole time. If they're here, it must mean it was Naori's will for us to find those answers as well.
Locating the Renis Alma would allow us to neutralize the dark astral energy inside Xion, thereby silencing her thorns. Is that what Naori's suggesting?
It makes sense. After all, Master Cores and Spirit Vessels are both able to prevent the astral energy inside them from developing sentience. By that logic, it would stand to reason that the Renis Alma would have the same ability on a larger scale.
We have a Maiden and Sovereign. Now all we need is the Renis Alma, and we'll finally be able to free you of your thorns. Xion.
It's possible? You really think so?
I do. We can rid you of your thorns and stop the world from falling to oblivion.
However, the spirit channeling ceremony already failed once. Even if our goal is different this time, we can't be sure the same thing won't happen again. We should take care not to be too optimistic.
You're right. It's the barest sliver of a chance. But if there's even the slightest hope it can work, I'm willing to stake everything I've got on it.
I know it's too early to let myself feel relieved, but I just can't seem to help it. Just hearing there's the slightest chance, even though I know the world's still in great peril. It's selfish of me, I know, but still.
No, it isn't. You found hope to believe in. It'd be strange if you weren't over the moon about it.
Rinwell's right. We can rid you of your curse and still save the world at the same time.
Thank you. Naori entrusted us with the fate of all humanity. Now, it's up to us to prove that trust was well placed.
Starting with a little game called Hunt the Renis Alma.
Yeah, we've come all this way. Now we just need to search Lenegis and Rena until we find it.
Yeah, we can protect the world and save Xion at the same time.
I too shall lend my services. My knowledge of Renan lore is bound to be a useful asset.
And they say modesty is dead.
Miracles just seem to follow wherever you go, huh?
How do you know it's me they're following? We're all in this together, Xion. You included. Now let's get moving, shall we? Last I heard, we had an apocalypse to stop. Thank you, Naori. Naori sealed away the power that made me lose control of myself. She stopped my rampage and saved my life. But then, that power she'd sealed away was passed down to you. I'm so sorry, Xion. It's my fault that you're cursed.
You're wrong. What happened to you was because of the ceremony and Naori's attempt to stop oblivion. You paid a heavy price for it, and then fell asleep for 300 years. The reason you lost your memories
is the reason for your curse.
The thorns.
It all leads back to them. But once they're gone, we can finally put an end to all this.
When my thorns are gone, I never dared to dream that such a thing could be possible. No, the truth is, I think maybe I've always been dreaming about a life without my thorns. The touch of my family, or playing with my friends, holding hands with Rinwell, or giving Law a deserved smack, embracing everyone. All the normal things that people do together. I always wished I could experience them for myself, and finally know what they were like. Is it really okay for me to believe it can happen?
I'm so scared of getting my hopes up. What if it doesn't work out in the end, and...
That's not going to happen. I'm here to make sure it won't. Forget fate or destiny or anything else. We're going to live a normal life. There are a lot of things you still want to do, right?
Yeah, you're right. It's such a strange feeling. I know that we've still got plenty of fighting up ahead, and it's for my sake, so I can live.
You're worth fighting for.
I believe you, Alphen.
Good. I'll keep on fighting. For as long as it takes. Until our future is finally in our hands.
Sounds like this Naori chick had...
Her position demanded nothing less. From the sound of things, she didn't focus on differences.
Yeah. It was Naori who first showed me that such a thing was even possible.
Not only...
It's as if walls meant nothing to her. The ones separating the Renans from the Danon.
Which basically meant that she never had anything to break down in the first place, huh?
You inherited that legacy. Her wish for the world.
Don't I know it?
She's kind of like a lodestar guiding our way.
That's quite some door, all right. This might finally be it. The heart of the beast.
We'll find the Renis Alma and the Red Woman inside, right?
After everything we've been through to get here, they damn well better be.
We'll probably be needing you to open this one for us, Sovereign.
Go for it, Alphen.
This is it, guys. Time to see what secrets are in store.
We're a long way from the residential quarters now. It looks completely different.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, this place... it reminds me more of being back inside the Wedge.
Except the Danon astral energy feels even stronger here.
In a portion of the city reserved purely for the Renin Sovereign.
Maybe he just has strange tastes?
This place looks like it has been here for quite some time now. If its design were a matter of personal preference, we would be talking from centuries ago. Still, this isn't the sort of decadence of taste spoken of in artistic circles.
Hold up, decadence?
When a preference is indulged to its extreme, it descends into kitsch, eccentricity for the sake of it. I'd be happy to illuminate you further.
That depends. Does it involve you buying me lunch?
The void that art fills isn't the stomach, it's the soul.
In that case, I'll let you know the next time my soul starts to rumble.
Now all we need is something to fill up the void inside your head.
Shut up!
Volron! He really was still alive.
And there's the Renis Alma.
Reveals the path
Then, is this another spirit channeling ceremony?
Wait, though. Something doesn't seem right here.
Once more, the powers must be united. Born from the fires of chaos, the world does seek its rightful state. All must be sacrificed in the heart of Rena, at the shrine of the true sovereign.
What has happened to him? He's lost himself, reduced to a mere cog in a machine.
Hey, look! Over there!
Isn't that the Maiden's crest?
Can it be that this entire chamber is meant to act as a substitute for the Maiden?
It looks like it's still running, but... Are we already too late to stop the ceremony?
If that's what caused Lenegis' transformation, then the purpose of the ceremony must have been to drain all the astral energy out of Dana.
But for what purpose? What could possibly need astral energy on that sort of scale?
I don't know. But whatever it is, I'll bet it's connected to those visions of oblivion. Regardless, we cannot stand by and let them steal Dana's energy. That said, we should retrieve the Renis Alma. Because right now, we need that most of all.
He's not gonna lunge at us out of nowhere, right?
Not the time, Law.
Alphen, look!
The Red Woman! So we finally found you. I have a lot of questions for you.
Wait!
What?
They all have the same face? How is that even possible? What is this?
Who the hell are they?
It can't be. Are they even people?
It's hard to know for sure, but I think they're the true rulers of Rena.
They're not feeling particularly talkative.
It's no use, Alphen. If we don't fight, we may as well be sitting ducks here.
Good point. Let's stop them before this gets out of hand.
Severing wind!
Being interrupted.
By the power of flame!
Here I go!
Without a trace!
Swallow blade! Try harder! My turn! Strike! Swallow blade!
Explosion!
Burn!
Sleep now. Everlasting
Slack!
Laser spear!
Infernal torrent!
Forgive me. This is my fault.
Not in your dreams! Light astral energy!
See what I can do!
More with that
Rupture!
Thunder!
Shine! Radiant light! Force of regeneration!
Regenerate! Another incantation ruined.
Holy glimmer!
Don't suffer in silence.
A chain between heaven and earth. Lightning jolt of lightning! Divine savior! I'll bring you back
You're
from
mine!
this abyss!
Swallow blade!
Resuscitation! Lightning! Downfall!
Breath of life.
Can't be
Heal
stopped!
my weary companion. No.
Can't end here!
Don't give up! Illuminate the
Imbue
dark!
this vanquished soul with
Annihilation!
resurrection. From
Mega
beyond,
land!
imbue this vanquished soul with resuscitation.
Lightning again! Thunder! Illuminate
Here I come!
anything you want! Holy light! I never miss!
Double demon blade!
Between heaven and
Swallow
earth!
blade!
Breath of life.
Awaiting
Heal my
beauty
weary
of lightning!
companion.
Divine
Can't move!
annihilation! Magna ray!
I owe you one.
I'll bring you back from death's abyss!
No escape! Double demon fang!
I'm going to need
Lightning
the
thrust!
power
rest for
of
the
the
wicked.
healing arts to accomplish
Hurricane thrust!
Captivity.
Resurrection!
Here I come!
Captivity.
Reheat
Swallow
storm!
blade! Double demon fang!
Puddle! Volcano
Shockwave
lightning!
strike!
Thunder! Lightning!
You're mine! Slack!
I'm going to need
This
to
is
use
some
all the
punishment.
power of my healing arts to accomplish this. Archfield! Resurrection!
Take it!
I'll bring you back from death's
Here I
abyss!
come!
Archfield! I'll bring you back from death's
Lightning
abyss!
thrust!
In here!
Tear! Hurricane
Resuscitation!
thrust! Soaring light
And
spear!
new leaf
No
on
rest for
life!
the wicked.
You're mine!
Right.
Eat this!
Don't suffer in
Double
silence.
Demon Fang! Dragon Swarm!
Eat dirt! Dance on the wind! Prepare to be seen!
Strut!
Elusive
Demon
deity!
Fang! Lightning Thrust! Hurricane Thrust!
I'm in your debt.
Try harder!
A wailing blast of
Here I come! Swallow Blade! Double Demon Fang! Shockwave Blast!
Oh, sparkling stars of light! Rain down,
Swallow Blade! Strike! It's over!
Here! Searing flame!
You're mine! Swallow Blade! Not now! Not no! Can't get... Here! Here I come! Swallow Blade! You're mine!
Heal my
Double
weary
Demon Fang! Lightning Thrust! Thanks! Hurricane Thrust!
By the power of
Tear! You're mine! Take this! Swallow Blade!
Here's the healing arm!
Double Demon Fang! Shockwave Blade! This one's all mine! Double Demon Fang! Ignite!
Into the shadows!
Swallow Blade! Try this!
breath of life. Heal my weary companion.
Take this!
Wailing banshee of
Here I
lightning!
come! Double Demon Fang!
No.
Sleep now.
I couldn't make it in time.
Dreams!
Allow me to help you from beyond. Imbue this vanquished soul with life. In a bind,
More for the stockpile! Shiny
all
Healing
the love
Nova!
will save you. Demon land.
Crazy
Tornado
tech
drive.
by the power of flame! Finish without a trace!
Rotating pile
This
driver.
one!
From beyond, imbue this vanquished soul with life. Resuscitation.
This one's mine!
Not done yet!
Feel!
Force of
Here I
regeneration.
come!
Stockpile!
Allow me to help
Water!
you.
Hear my call!
Allow me to help
Here I come! Swallow Blade!
captivity.
You're mine! Strike! Double Demon Fang!
Heal my weary companion.
Take this!
Glacial Cure!
Swallow
Hear
Blade!
me!
Shockwave Blast! No escape!
Hear my call!
Demon land.
Thunder Field!
Prepare to be sealed.
Double Demon Fang! Try this!
A whirling
my
struggle!
weary companion.
I'm nearly
Winds
done
of
for.
heaven!
This should do it!
Graviton Field!
No further.
Raging Storm!
You're mine!
Arch Field!
Who's there?
Dance in the wind!
Dance on the wind.
I'm sorry to trouble.
Take
You do
this!
the same for me.
Blast! Double Demon Fang!
I'll heal you
Double
all!
Demon Fang!
Sorry.
You'll pay for that! I owe you one.
My reach is even wider.
No escape!
This one's
Double
mine!
Demon Fang!
Resuscitation.
I'll heal you all!
You picked the wrong fight!
I still got some fight left in me. Healing Circle!
Infernal Torrent!
Is this it?
Illuminate the dark!
From beyond, imbue this vanquished soul with life.
I never miss! A wailing banshee of lightning!
Not done yet! Take this!
I'm all
Double
done!
Demon Fang! Be still!
Breath of
Annihilation!
life. Heal my weary
Dance
companion.
in the wind!
Tear!
Thanks!
Be
Flame!
still! Tear!
A wailing
Hurricane
banshee of
Blast!
lightning!
Elusive deity.
Begin
In a bind,
Let me show you what my art can do! Rise and shine!
Shockwave Blast!
Catapult!
Demon Fang! Infernal
By the
Torrent!
power of flame! Finish without
Can't
a
move.
return!
shattering the pieces. Imbue this vanquished soul with life.
Dance in the wind! In here!
Not done yet! Double Demon Fang! Dazzle! Hurricane Thrust! Tear!
A whirling struggle!
You're mine! Enough!
Here!
You're mine! Strike!
Where are you going?
Double Demon Fang! This one's all mine!
I'll heal you all!
Strike! Dazzle!
Healing circle!
Hurricane Thrust!
Here!
Tear! Hurricane Tap!
Watch and sweep!
Ignite! Strike! Infernal Torrent!
Anything in armor is all mine!
You're mine!
In a bind?
Double Demon Fang! Lightning Thrust!
Heart can do.
Tear! Hurricane Thrust! Tear! Hurricane Thrust! Hurricane No! Can't end here!
I'll bring you back from death's abyss.
In your hands now. I can carve through armor!
Sparkling stars, rain down and purify all. A new
I owe
lease
you
on
one.
life.
Take this! Slash! Double Demon Fang!
Feel
Dragon Swarm!
I'll be saving
Shockwave
you
Slash!
from death's abyss.
Mirage! Flaming Thrust!
More where that came from.
Here I come! Slash!
Wind astral
Shockwave Slash! Dragon Swarm!
Do it!
Doubly! In an instant! Impact Claw!
Breath of life, heal my wearied companions!
Surrender! Fighting is useless now!
Do you think it's really over?
Astral energy. Watch out! They've got something up their sleeve!
What?
It's self-destructed?
Alphen!
I'm okay. Just a little roughed up.
You had me worried there.
Who said you could touch that?
Damn it! He's awake!
I should have thought as much. So you know this place? Naturally. It was built for me, after all. We'll save that for another time. More pressing is how I'm going to tear you apart. Even after all this time, you still insist on hating me? You cut me down. Sovereign or not, you will pay for that.
You're obviously bluffing. You can't even move right now.
Really, is that what you think? Did you really think that such a petty device could hold me?
Are you going to claim it's because you're a ruler? Be it sovereigns or lords. In the end, they're all titles given by someone else.
Plus, what kind of ruler would spend all his time chasing Alf, who happens to be another sovereign?
Idle prattle. I proved my worth and the Sovereign's powers were granted to me.
Were they really? We already know the title of Sovereign doesn't denote royalty. It is but an overblown codename for those with a designated part to play in these proceedings. You mentioned before that you were not the only one stolen from Dana, correct?
Yeah. There were countless. And every one of them besides me died.
All of those failed experiments, and they still kept going back to Dana. There must have been some vital reason their subject had to specifically be a Danan. Then there were the records we found in the library, for you and Volron. They were locked 300 years apart, and yet the data they took from you was exactly the same. Which leads us to a single conclusion.
Then you mean Voron was kidnapped just like Alphen? But then he became a
slave from Dana. Just like us. Isn't that right, Volron?
So he posed as a Renin and caused all that suffering to his own people?
How could you? If you knew the pain of being a slave, why would you inflict that upon others?
Renin and Danan are meaningless distinctions. Me and everyone else. That is all that matters. I will stand above all others and take what is rightfully mine, starting with this.
A red woman?
Another one?
Give your master back on Rena this message. No one makes a fool of me. Let them know I'll make them suffer.
Don't do it!
Serenus Alma!
It's too late. Can't stay here.
We need to go. Outfit!
Go. But know I will be your shadow no matter where you try to run.
Let's go.
Never forget, I am the one who devours everything. Who answers to neither spirit nor man. My word is law. I am...
Are you two okay?
Yeah. We'll be fine.
Is Volron... have we finally seen the last of him?
We can but hope.
Those red women. What the heck was their deal?
Could they be the ones behind all this? The same ones who put those soldiers in Faria in a trance?
What? Those brainless things? Either way, they've done a runner with the Renis Alma. Damn it, that's the second time now!
Whatever's stolen from us, we'll steal it back. The future's ours to protect. And right now those things are what's standing in our way. We can head them off at Rena.
Did you say Rena?
Volron mentioned a master of theirs holed up in the motherland somewhere.
If that monstrous form's their true identity, I shudder to think who they take orders from.
Yeah. There's a good chance it's not human. That's for sure.
So this thing over on Rena, that's what's really behind all this, huh?
They have the Renis Alma in their grasp already, so it's unlikely they'll have cause to return to Dana. I agree that Rena's our best shot.
Then we're agreed. Let's head back to the starship.
But seriously, I was not expecting Volron to actually be here.
He seemed to care not one whit about Renans or Danans.
Yeah, not in a good way like with us.
I didn't see that coming about Volron. As for those red women, to think they were monsters all along.
Tell me about it. One minute they look perfectly human. Next thing you know...
They definitely weren't Renan or Danon. I'm not even sure language would get through to them.
So what were they then? Human Zoogle hybrids?
Is the most terrifying thing anyone said all day.
How about you, Shion? Dohalie? You ever see...
No, never. However, if they're the same as the red woman we've seen with Volron, I think it's safe for us to assume they understand our language at the very least.
I had just so much I wanted to ask them.
Unfortunately, they blew themselves up before we got the chance. Why would they do such a thing, though? To take us with them?
Both sound plausible to my ears. They took off with the Renis Alma too, remember?
Yeah, they did. And the next time we meet them, we're going to make sure they tell us everything they know.
further!
Take it! Inside me! Be let free! Bring him down! It's go time! You're mine! Radiant light! You picked the wrong fight, damn it! Too bad! Stand back! I'll trip it out. Don't suffer in silence. Behold! The Earth pulse! Tectonic vision! Look sharp! Lightning tiger blade! Feel my wings! Can't get out of this! No escape! Swallow blade! Double demon fang! Lightning thrust! Shine! Radiant light! Hurricane regeneration! Regenerate! Don't suffer in silence! Double demon fang! This one's all mine! Swallow blade! You picked the wrong fight!
Small, but a victory nonetheless.
We have a long way yet to go.
I won't forgive you!
You're mine! Try harder! My turn! Negative space! Take it!
Your reflexes will not serve you well.
I have no limit! Fly! Swallow blade!
Easy ensnaring to me.
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Benediction light.
No further!
Tempest Swirl!
Double Demon Fang! Lightning Thrust! Hurricane Thrust!
Here I go!
Here! Hurricane Thrust! Take this! You're mine!
That'll bring you down!
No escape!
Wow!
Remote!
Astral Energy!
Say no more!
Now! Here I come! Slash! It's gone! Be still! Tear! Hurricane Thrust! Tear! Hurricane Thrust! Tear! Soaring Light Spear! Lightning Rocket! Shockwave Blast!
I'm ready! Astral Energy!
Say no more! I'm pretty lucky.
As if the normal creepy crawlies aren't disgusting enough.
In a bind?
But I save you! Not in your dreams!
I'll smash you! Take
Let me
this!
show you what my art is!
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me!
Got it! I'll leave it to you! Dragon Sword!
Sorry, trouble.
You do the same for me.
Take this!
Locked and ready!
Benediction light.
That'll bring you down!
Eat this! Swallow blade!
Treat now!
Infernal turret!
Annihilation! The
Don't
water
see me! Try harder! Not a chance!
Ready and ready!
No! Can't get here!
Don't leave me!
From beyond! Can't get out of this!
I'll bring you back from death to death!
you!
A chain between heaven and earth! A wailing Banshee of lightning!
Rending you apart!
I'm going to need to use all the power of my healing. Here goes! Go Let me show you what my art can
Resonate
do.
with the earth!
Rise and shine!
I'm not done! On your...
Thunderblade!
I'm not done! Swallow blade! Next more!
Thunderblade! Illuminate the dark without a
Hurricane
Leave the holy land! A chain between heaven and earth.
Take
Annihilation!
this!
A wailing Banshee of lightning!
Double demon fang!
It's too much!
Slash! Double demon fang! Dazzle! Devastation! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Here, let me help.
It's on!
First aid! Raging cascade!
Not today!
By the power of now!
Thanks!
Annihilation!
Infernal turret with the earth! Double demon fang! Be still! Hurricane thrust! Hurricane thrust! Swallow blade! You're mine! You're finished! Double demon fang! Be still!
This one's mine! Chain between heaven and earth!
Feel my can't get out of this! No escape!
Here's a healing art!
Double demon fang!
Taking too much
Bring up!
damage! Astral energy!
Say no more!
Don't push yourself too hard.
Arch field! By the power of flame! Light down the leveling! Arcade waterfall! Ready to go! These ones can run rings around us! Glacial
Negative
field!
double
Here's
demon
evil!
fang!
Freeze Lancer! In here! Glacial
Double
field!
demon
Here's
fang!
the evil! Wind Astral Freeze Lancer!
Swallow blade! Double demon fang! Dragon Sword! Shockwave slash! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Here goes!
Here I come! Swallow blade!
Ready and ready!
Flaming thrust! Hurricane thrust! Dazzle!
Searing flame!
Here I come! Ignite! Swallow blade! No further! You're mine! Double demon fang! Swallow blade! Be still! Negative gate! Soaring Lord Spear! You're mine! I'm not done! Elusive deity! Rising now or never! Dazzle!
Do it!
Hair! Long! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! My turn! No escape! Double demon fang! Shockwave slash! swarm!
I'm ready!
Flip up!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Well then, let's keep moving.
What the? When did it get pitch dark all of a sudden?
The lights are all out. Think it has something to do with the explosion back in the Forbidden Zone?
Doe?
You two.
Faria, Avakir. Thank goodness you're safe.
Avakir filled me in about everything. About how I ambushed you all.
She doesn't remember a thing. So she really was being controlled.
He told me about Tarnigan, too. Is it true?
What difference does it make? What's done is done.
Stop casting me off, just for once!
Faria, not now. It can wait. Dohalim, Lenegus is in grave peril.
So I can see.
It's the city's core reactor. It's damaged. Some of the basic systems we've managed to keep online, but complete restoration's still a way off.
You're an elite technician, though. You can fix it, right?
If so, then what's the problem?
Panic's begun to set in among the citizens. Until now, whenever something like this happened, the Sovereign would issue a decree. But this time, not so much as a peep. Any longer, and we run the risk of riots breaking out before we can get things back up and running.
Forget the Sovereign. I doubt you'll be hearing from him anytime soon.
What's that supposed to mean? Do you know something I don't?
Suffice it to say, the Sovereign isn't the kind of ruler we thought he was. That is, if he ever even existed, which is looking doubtful at this stage.
Are you out of your mind? Why, if people knew that a lord such as yourself was whispering such blasphemy, they'd—
There's no time to explain now. It sounds like we need to find a way to keep Lenegus from spiraling out of control.
We need to stop that riot.
But how do we do that?
Riots feed on discontent and unrest, right? So if we want to keep the peace...
At ease. Like by letting them hear directly from someone they trust. That's it. Who's the highest-ranking person in Lenegus right now?
Lenegus wouldn't have a next in line. After all, you said the Sovereign rules over everyone directly, right?
Correct. The closest thing to an authority figure would be a lord. And the Avakir, you mentioned a few facilities were still online. Which ones?
Why hasn't the Sovereign said anything?
Please, won't somebody explain what's going on?
Is it over? What's going to happen to all of us?
Heed me now, fellow Renans of Lenegus. It is I, Lord Dohalim Ilkaris of Elda Menancia.
Look, up there! It's Lord Dohalim!
Hold on! He should be in the crown contest! Shouldn't he? Why isn't the Sovereign talking to us?
The Sovereign is seeing to other matters right now. In my capacity as Lord, I speak to you in his stead. You're afraid, as people so often are when faced with the unknown. I hope you'll allow me to put your fears to rest. The city's core reactor has experienced a malfunction. However, we have our top engineers attending to the matter, and things will soon be back to normal. I know that you feel abandoned, perhaps more scared and alone than ever before. But I ask you all to keep one thing in mind. You are Lenegus, not the Lords and Sovereign. The solidarity of its citizens is the mortar that holds it together. If we don't allow ourselves to be distracted by our differences, if we put our hearts and minds together and stand as one, I am confident we will find new hope. I would be honored to stand with you. Not as a person of loftier rank, but as another human being among many. I hope that you'll lend me your strength, for if we can persevere as one, I know a bright tomorrow awaits.
Your speech seems to have done the trick. Looks like the city won't be descending into chaos after all.
I only pray the relief will tide the city over for the time being.
What you said earlier, about the Sovereign possibly not even existing, was it true?
It's still too premature to say with any certainty, but I believe so. This whole time, this world we've been fed was a lie, built on nothing but falsehoods.
But it can't all have been...
I can believe it. After everything I saw in the Forbidden Zone, what they did to Faria, it's the only explanation that makes sense.
But what about hierarchy, Avakir? Authority? The very foundations of Renan society? How can we live without someone to guide us?
I'd say we found someone capable of doing just that, wouldn't you?
You? You can't be serious.
I have business I must take care of first. But once everything is over, I shall return. But not as your sovereign, nor as a leader the likes of which the people here are used to, I think.
But how else do you propose to rule?
I'm not sure yet. All I have is a feeling that here in Lenegis, a new dawn is on the verge of breaking. One in which people won't be judged by birthright or on the power of their astral arts, but on other things. More important things. Things like, oh, I don't know, musical talent, for example.
When I bumped into you after all those years, I said you were no different. But I was wrong. Truth is, you were always different. I feel like maybe now I can finally begin to accept Turnagain's death. To see a future.
You go finish whatever it is you've got to do. I'll hold down the fort here in Lenegis till you get back.
Thank you.
I guess you're not going to make it to Menancia for the foreseeable future, huh?
Indeed. Forgive me.
The people of Elda Menancia can look after themselves just fine. It's the ones here on Lenegis who need someone to guide them. Besides, with you leading the people here, it'll help spread the idea of coexistence beyond Menancia's borders that much faster.
Sounds like you're in it for the long haul.
How could I not be, after the second chance that I've been granted? From this day forth, I shall dedicate myself to the future inhabitants of this world. Though the memories of the departed shall remain forever in my heart.
Remember, you're going to be leading the people here, not ruling them.
True enough. Whatever would I do without you, Kisara?
With or without her, I suspect you're gonna have your hands full when the time comes. We should be heading back to the ship. Business on Rena awaits. Looks like the people of Lenegis can rest easy.
I couldn't have done it without your words of encouragement, Law.
Hey... You're the one who made the speech.
I think everybody can share the credit here.
What do you say we check back in on the ranch?
Have you guys...